what type of leader are you? Or are you like Jordan, where you're so good at something that it's hard for you to teach other people, and then you've got to have the right people come in to do those other roles? If we look at CEOs of really big companies, very few of them are those superstars, but they know how to manage people. They know how to get the best out of other people. They know how to motivate people. They know how to take responsibility for things. They know how to break it down into simple tasks. So are you more like Michael Jordan or Steve Kerr when it comes to that?
Welcome to the Launch Button Podcast, where we unlock the secrets of successful entrepreneurs and real estate investors who found the courage to hit the launch button and take control of their destiny. Join me, Hugh, best-selling author, seasoned real estate investor, and serial entrepreneur, as we dive deep into inspiring stories and invaluable lessons that will empower you to break free from the ordinary and pursue your true passions. Are you feeling trapped in a job that drains your passion and leaves you yearning for more? Are you ready to accelerate your business and our real estate investing to take it to the next level? It's time to ignite your dreams and embrace the limitless possibilities that life has to offer. Get ready to launch into the life you've always desired by pressing the launch button.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Launch Button Podcast. And today we're talking about overcoming adversity for you, for your business, and your leadership style. So when we get into this, we can use many different things for reference. I'm going to use baseball here because I am a big baseball fan. A lot of you guys know that. And so as we talk about this, there's different parts of people's careers and lives, and we got to figure out what that is. As a leader, you can be labeled many things. Disgruntled, angry, different things like that if you're holding a standard. And when we talk about standards, because people have different standards. So if we go all the way back and we follow baseball, right, the first person to break through the color barrier was Jackie Robinson. Right here, you can see this is a nice Jackie Robinson card here that we had graded. And it goes all the way back to the 1940s with that. So why was Jackie selected as that first MLB player to break the color barrier? Was it because he was the most talented? Was it because, right, everybody wanted to see him play? Was he making a ruckus in the Negro League? No, there were better players in the Negro League than Jackie Robinson. But Jackie Robinson was selected because Branch Rickey, the head of the Dodgers at the time, they were in Brooklyn. And my parents were big Brooklyn Dodgers fans. And then when they moved to LA, right, they were dead to us. So that's why we're Met fans, just so that we can stick it to all the Dodgers out there. But we have not had the best record of late. But Jackie Robinson was selected because of who he was as a person. And each leader as a person determines the success or lack of success for their business, for their teams. And it's super interesting to see if we had followed Jackie's career. Jackie was actually honorably discharged from the military because he wouldn't move to the back of the bus on a military transport. Most people don't know that. They just know his story being in baseball and breaking the color barrier. Well, Branch Rickey saw that he went through that transition, and even though there were way better players at that time, because Jackie was just coming up in the Negro Leagues, he had the right temperament and the right personality to be able to take the hits because they knew it wasn't going to be easy. And as a leader, it isn't easy, right? It's not easy breaking barriers. It's not easy helping people see their shortcomings, helping people grow, helping people do that. But we always do that with the right intent. And Jackie Robinson was that right person for Branch Rickey. He said, you're not going to be able to respond. If you fight back against the crowd and the racism that was out there at the time and all the things going on, it's never going to work. And we're never going to be able to bring African American players into the league. We need somebody that's going to be able to take it in, hold on to that, and allow it to move forward. And often as leaders, we've got to take the hits for our teams. We've got to be the ones to have the broad shoulders to carry the burden and not let other people know what's going on, not let them know all the things behind the scenes that are happening. And we've got to be able to take the hits, whether it's personal and with personality clashes, whether it's business with business clashes. We've got to be the ones to go ahead and do that. And since he did that, and so many people are super thankful for Jackie for doing that, that allowed other players to break through barriers in different places, like Hank Aaron, right? Hammer and Hank. He had a different personality and he came up at a slightly different time, but having to break that barrier in the Atlanta area and become one of the most beloved players in the South was also a very unique way to go ahead and do that. So he had a different personality and he, showed it with his bat. He was a very quiet person, but also, loved the game and was a true quiet leader. So both of those players had to be more quiet leaders as they broke through the barriers. And then we get into players like Willie Mays Hayes. No, Willie Mays, right? Everybody knows that movie. But Willie Mays. Willie Mays was out there. He was a showman. He loved to show off his glove on his defense. There's all those famous videos of him running back and making those basket catches. And he was more of a showman and enjoyed the spotlight. And because of all the things that had happened, he was able to go ahead and do that. And he actually ended his career with the Mets. That was his last season there. But that continued to open the door for players like, right, Derek Jeter and Ken Griffey Jr. going out there at those times, and they're able to go out there and do that. And these are some of their rookie cards here, as they were able to go out and continue to break those barriers and become true captains, right? Both Jeter and Griffey led in very different ways. You never knew anything about Derek Jeter's personal life when he was playing. He was very quiet about that, and he was more of a quiet leader inside the locker room, but he also didn't put up with anything. He had his standards, and that's why he is known as one of the best Yankee captains of all time. It's hard for me as a Met fan to say that, but I gotta say that, right? One of the best players of all time. And this is a card out of 5,000 for that. And then the ability for Ken Griffey Jr. to go out there and make his pro debut at the ripe age of 18. Think about that. At 18 years old, he's playing in the pros and being able to do that. So when you think about these different things and the different leadership styles, who are you mimicking? And then you can be the star, but you also might not be the best leader. Let me say that again. You can be the star player, but you may not be the best leader. So we've got to make sure that as leaders, we put people in the right positions for that. A great example of that is Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan is an amazing leader on the basketball court for setting the standards for being able to be that superstar. He transitioned over to baseball for a couple of years and was able to do that. Now, the best player to go from two sports really is Bo Jackson, but Michael Jordan definitely went out there and set a new standard where he came over to baseball and started playing baseball and then went back to basketball. But Jordan is one of the is probably the greatest basketball player of all time. I know there's a debate with Kobe, but I grew up in the Jordan era where you were allowed to foul people, you were allowed to do that, and Jordan just rocked the world. And again, I got to say that to all the Chicago fans out there. But it's a different leadership style because Jordan was so good at the things, and we a lot of us know the story in like seventh grade where he was cut from his basketball team just so he would come in and do the drills and build the discipline that he needed. But he was able to do that, and he had such a high drive, such a high level of knowledge of the game, so many instincts. Like he knew everything that was going to happen. There's all these, stories coming out now where he would play cards with people and tell the guy, like, I'm gonna drop 40. There's all these videos out there. I'm gonna drop 40 on that guy tonight because you pissed me off here. And then he goes out, scores the 40, or makes a bet with somebody about how many he scores, and then he scores that and checks himself out of the game. Like that's how good he was. He was a master at that and totally deserved that. But when he became a GM, when he became a coach, it was really hard for him. And he didn't have the same level of success. Why? Because he was so good. He was so natural. These things were so ingrained in him, where we talk about talent versus nurture. He was so talented that it was really hard for him to teach other players to have that drive, to live up to his standard, to be able to motivate people to have that standard. There's a lot of people out there doing fake apologies, like, you know, to their leadership teams, like, oh, it's my fault. I thought these other people were better leaders or better salespeople or these types of things. That's a fake apology. It's not really saying you're sorry. That's shifting the blame to other people. So as we go through this, Jordan was not the best coach, was not the best GM because things were so natural to him. He was at such a high level that a lot of the basics were hard for him to do. Steve Kerr, the point guard for the same team that won all the championships, not all the championships, won a bunch of championships with Jordan, and even hit one of the game-winning shots to win one of the championships, was a way better coach. Why? Because he had to work hard at it. He had to learn how to do some of the things that came naturally to Jordan. So as a leader, this is why like the top salespeople often don't make good managers or leaders because they're really good at sales, but it comes naturally to them, or they've been doing it for years and are not able to coach and train people on how to do that. It's the people that struggle with it, that learn how to do that, that learn the mastery, and then are able to teach other people how to do that. That's truly the leaders, the CEOs, the behind the scenes people that are out there making businesses strive and thrive because of that. When I say that, it's behind the scene people that are allowing businesses to strive and thrive because they know how to coach people through the troubles. They know how to break it down into simple disciplines. We just ran this crazy AI challenge. We've got people of all ages learning AI. Why? Because I was able to break it down from all my years of IT, all my years of being an entrepreneur, and make it super simple and easy for people. That's what you want in a coach. That's what you want in a trainer. That's what you want in a mentor that's able to say, hey, let me break it down into the simple steps. So it doesn't matter if you're 80 or 18, you can learn how to go ahead and do this. Because a lot of people that are older have fear of AI. They have fear of technology. They have fears of these different things. So as a leader, are you, one, able to go ahead and take on the responsibilities and the burdens and be like Jackie Robinson and be able to hold all of those things in and just share them in the inner circle? Two, which leadership style are you like? Are you like the captain Derek Jeter, Ken Griffey Jr., Hammer and Hank, Willie Mays? What type of leader are you? Or are you like Jordan, where you're so good at something that it's hard for you to teach other people, and then you've got to have the right people come in to do those other roles? You know, if we look at CEOs of really big companies, very few of them are those superstars, but they know how to manage people. They know how to get the best out of other people. They know how to motivate people. They know how to take responsibility for things. They know how to break it down into simple tasks. So are you more like Michael Jordan or Steve Kerr when it comes to that? These are great leadership questions for you. You've got any other analogies, any other thoughts, put them in the comments below. But I want you to think about, are you Jackie, ready to break through the barriers and be able to keep a lot of that stuff inside of you? Are you Jordan, right? Where you're the superstar and then you need to be able to have other people break down things for other people so that it can be duplicatable and replicatable. If it's come super easy to you, then you need somebody else to base your trainings off of that goes through that process so you can break it down. Are you Steve Kerr, where you're able to go ahead and do that leadership style that's able to get the most out of their players on their team? So comment below. I look forward to hearing about your leadership style. I look forward to learning about that. And you can see all the people on the podcast that we've had in the past. If you go back, you're going to see different leadership styles, different ways to motivate people. You've got to find your niche. And if you found your niche and you found your motivation style, comment below. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Launch Button Podcast. And just go out there, be like Mike, be like Steve Kerr, be like Hank Aaron, be like Jackie Robinson. Pick your heroes, pick your wins, go out there and do it for you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on the Launch Button Podcast, your gateway to unlocking your true potential and pursuing your passions. Don't let the journey end here. For more empowering insights, valuable resources, exclusive content, and free giveaways, visit www.thelaunchbuttonpodcast.com.